Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Alexi and this is Soto-Tek. In this video, I'm now going to talk about 5 reasons why you might consider buying an iPhone over a Samsung Galaxy phone. What things iPhones offer that might give you a better user experience. As I said in my other video, 10 reasons Samsung Galaxy phones are better than iPhones, that despite the gap getting narrower and narrower as to what both phones are offering in terms of hardware and software, still now in 2020, fans on both sides are still arguing in favor of one or the other. And that's because they are not exactly the same, and there are differences worth highlighting. 1. Updates. This is what iPhones, as part of the Apple iOS ecosystem, excels ahead of Samsung. Apple controls both the hardware and the software and always releases timely updates across all its models at the same time. Also, it supports its phones for longer time. You have models as old as the iPhone 6s from 2015 getting the latest iOS update 13.5.1. But not only that, it will even get iOS 14 in September or October, which is amazing. However, Samsung, despite it has got much better in terms of updates, there is still no comparison. It only guarantees 2 years for its flagships and maybe for some of its phones in the A series, but it's usually 1 year for its mid-low range phones. It provides monthly security updates for longer though, up to 3, maybe 4 years, and that's more important for a lot of people. But still, Apple is better when it comes to the system updates. I think Samsung could be a lot better in this regard if it didn't release so many unnecessary phones with different variants and processors every year, all basically having the same specifications, especially on the 8 and M series. It's just too much. It's actually shocking, and Samsung really needs to stop that. 2. AirDrop is a very good and fast way to transfer all your files among different Apple devices. Samsung has something similar called Smart Switch, which is very good too, but not as fast as AirDrop. Also, AirDrop has a longer range of transfer when it comes to distance. 3. Video recording denomination in the setting and the camera viewfinder. In the case of iPhones, on the camera viewfinder you can perfectly see what resolution you are using when you are recording a video. This is important because, for instance, if you record a video in 4K and then you stop, the next time you want to record a video, maybe you don't really need it to be in 4K. 1080p, which consumes a lot less internal memory, is more than enough. So, as soon as you see the viewfinder, you realize it is in 4K and then you change it to 1080p. However, you can't see anything in Samsung's phone's viewfinder. So, if you forgot that last time you recorded a video was in 4K, then you might end up recording your next video in 4K again, eating up 4, 5, 6 GB of internal memory when all you needed was to record that specific video just in 1080p. That would only eat up 1 GB or so instead. Maybe this is not a big deal for a lot of people, but it is annoying to me, especially because of the amount of unnecessary internal memory used sometimes. Also, the video recording denomination on iPhones is more simple and straightforward. It says clearly 4K, 30, 60, 120 frames per second, etc. for each of them. With Samsung, some of these numbers are not very clear for the average consumer who wouldn't be able to know if it's 4K or not, or what frame per second. Only these two are clear. With these two, you have to assume it's 1080p or 4K at 30 frames per second. In the video about 10 things Samsung Galaxy phones do better, I talked about the advantage Samsung has by having all the camera settings in the camera app unlike Apple, which has most of the camera settings outside the camera app, and that if you have to change something, you have to go back and forth all the time, which is an inconvenience in general. Also, as said, this inconvenience could be a convenience in one instance. That instance is when you are doing a video recording session and you need to constantly change the resolution. Being able to change from the camera app to the settings to do so like this. Go to camera. Now, settings. Choose the resolution. Back to the camera. Setting. Choose another resolution. You see, in this way, it's quicker than if you have to do it with Samsung's phones. Let's go back again quickly. You see, now let's quickly go to the settings. So 1 step, 2, 3, choose the resolution, 4, then go back again, 5, 6. Okay, so as you can see, you are taking more steps. I hope you see what I mean. Let me know your opinion in the comments down below. For predictive text and keyboard smoothness in general, yes, predictive text seems to be more effective here on iPhones. Not by much, but it is definitely better. I have set up the keyboard for 3 languages: Spanish, English, and Italian. I don't have to change the language to type effectively in any of the 3. It picks up all 3 without problems. With the Samsung keyboard, to be highly effective, it's better to have it in the exact language you want to use it. That doesn't mean it is useless if it is not in the actual language you want to use, but the experience is not the same, as well as the typing experience in terms of smoothness. It could be very good and smooth on some Samsung phones, not exactly the same on some others, so there is no consistency across all the models. 5. FaceTime and iMessage. I decided to include these ones because of how popular they are, especially in places like the United States and Canada. I think they are indeed very good and effective messaging apps, though I also think they are a little bit overrated, especially FaceTime. In any case, they are considered to be better alternatives than what Samsung or Android can offer. Most Android users are happy with WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Telegram, etc. I'll leave that to your consideration. What I like about iMessage are these cool effects, which I wouldn't use all the time, but they are fun, nothing like these on Samsung or Android. It's really cool to send some messages with these effects, so if that is something you would love to have and enjoy, then iPhones are definitely the phone for you. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it informative. And if you like this video, give it a thumb up and please consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Now that I've finished these videos about the advantages and disadvantages of iPhones and Samsung Galaxy phones, I can install iOS 14 beta and check it out before the official and stable public release in September or October to give you my preview about it. See you in the next one. Hasta la vista.